Hello there, Rabbi. How you doing today?
Good evening, Joe. What's happening?
Well, I was wondering, and we've discussed this briefly before, but I think it's worthy of a much longer examination in our classified primo forum that we have here about the evolution of religion. And we've been lamenting privately amongst ourselves about how religion has turned from a weekly ritual, whether it's the Catholics going to Mass on Sunday or Jews going to the temple on Friday night for services and Saturday morning and the Shabbat dinner and so forth. And we hold on to elements of that, but it sort of seems like it's drifting away from that. We're no longer that, it's not that much of a focus on our lives. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. You started by bringing up the Roman Catholic Church. So we can take a look at the Mass. The Mass, Latin's a beautiful language, like Hebrew. There's a lilt, there's a rhythm to it. But they decided instead of making a hybrid, let's do it all in English. Okay, let's have the priest turn around. So he's facing the congregation, the people, and not have his back to them and not do, okay, we'll do that. Then you know what? People aren't getting up Sunday morning. So let's say you could fulfill your obligation for Sunday on Saturday night. Well, what could be better than that? You don't have to get up early on Sunday. Oh, you could do that. You could start watching this slide away from not dogma, but involvement. And we're looking at what's the little I can do? How can I be something without actually doing anything? And we see the same thing in Judaism. Students studying for their B'nai Mitzvah, Bar and Bat Mitzvah, they would be in school for years. They would learn to read text. They would understand what they were reading. They would become part of the community. Religious school was 3 or 4 days a week. Then it went to 2 days a week. Then many of us went to one, and finally just 1 day a week because people wouldn't come. And we lose something as we watch this slide from spirituality, from feeling, from involvement to, what was the expression you used, Joe?
Well, it's moved from an involved religion that's part of our everyday lives to a fast food format where you go in, you go to church, you push the button, you get your credit with the Lord, and then you go out again and go on with your life. And then now it seems it's gotten even worse. And it's as we've gone from fast food to the vending machine version of religion, where you put your quarter in the slot, you pull the handle, you get your religion for the week, and then you run off. Eat it in the car while you're going to soccer practice.
Yeah, you're using the word worse. It's if you're making a value judgment. What makes you think that vending machine religion is any worse than sitting through a beautiful worship service, with connecting with God through community? I mean, I don't understand why you would think. I think it's just a different view of religion, because you use the word worse because you think of it like I do, as community, connection, involvement. But maybe what we want to say is people want to redefine religion. Maybe people don't want a spiritual connection. Maybe people don't want to feel part of a community. Maybe what is it people want, Joe? What do you think?
Well, doesn't it seem though like they're objectifying religion? It's not a spiritual thing at all. It's a series of obligations, just some bases you have to touch, I've got to go here and do this, I've got to do there and that, and then I'm okay. And even back in parochial school days, the nuns used to say, that's not what religion is.
Joe, that's typical of working for the government, working for a company. You check off the boxes. You put the statement at the bottom of your letterhead that you're an equal opportunity employer. You don't do any of those things. You don't really do it. You don't hire anybody. You don't hire anybody over 50, but you say you do. And then in training, you have to check the boxes. So maybe religion is just following what secular society is doing, and we'll be sorry. And at some point, it will turn around because we do need connection. We do need spirituality. And checking the box never works. It doesn't work for safety. It doesn't work for affirmative action. And it doesn't work in your life with your partner. So I think we're going to see a turnaround, Joe.
Whatever your perspective is on religion and spirituality, whether you believe in an actual physical being that's a deity, or whether it's an abstract concept or somewhere in between, here, there, or anywhere, it's a personal connection. There's really, ultimately, unless the ghosts of your parents are sitting on your shoulders saying, why didn't you go to church this Sunday? It's just your relationship with that concept. And why do we feel we have to do something if that's all it is? And let it go completely if you don't want to do it, but people don't want to let it go. They want children come to the temple and say, I want my child to be B'nai Mitzvah. Why? If they're not going to participate themselves, if it's not going to be part of their family and their day-to-day existence, is it important to meet those little religious milestones?
I think people are scared of the possibility that there's something out there and they'll be held accountable or someone will blame them, but they don't believe it enough to change their behavior. And so that's the idea of putting a token into a machine, and you could drop your child off and head for the hills. You can not participate. Your vending machine. So that just gets rid of the edge enough. So you have a vending machine, but you really don't want to get involved. I think there's something else going on here, Joe. I think people are scared. I think people are scared of the universe. I think people are scared of themselves. I think people are scared of finding out who they are. And a lot of our obsessions in running are to escape reality. I've talked before about fear of dying, fear of growing old. Instead of embracing what is, we're constantly dodging and hiding from it. And one of the things religion does is have us face what is. Look at all our rituals. We have rituals when you're sick. We have rituals when you're dying. We have rituals when you get well. We have rituals when there are holidays, when there are things to celebrate. And those things remind people that time is moving. They remind people of what is. And they, meaning us, meaning human beings, don't want to deal with what is. And so we run, we buy, we hide, and it's not satisfying. And there are all kinds of indicators of our dissatisfaction with life.
And people make the mistake continually that it's the action that makes it okay. If I go to church every Sunday, even if I have my earbuds in and I'm listening to the football game, I'm there, so it counts. But it's not. It's that emotional connection that they need to recover, and they don't realize what a good thing it can be.
Yes, and the times during death and illness, many times people make that connection, but it's too little, too late. And until the DeLorean is mass produced, we're not going to be able to go back in time.
Well, the one thing I won't go back in time to change is the time I spend with you, Rabbi. Thank you so much. This has been a great little conversation.
You're welcome, Joe. And I'd like to invite anyone out there listening. If you'd like to join in, please let us know.